Okay, let's get going on our next lesson on transformations. So far, we have talked about the translations or excuse me, dilations, large or smaller, where we enlarge them or make them smaller. And today we're going to talk about translations where we slide the objects but don't change them in any other way, just slide them around. So let's get started. So a translation is a transformation in which the figure slides but does not turn. Every point in the figure moves the same distance and in the same direction. And if we remember to move the vertices or the corners and then draw the lines, we take care of all of the other points, so we don't have to actually calculate every infinitesimal point to translate the figure, just the corners. So a transformation changes a figure into another figure. The original figure is called the prime image, and the new figure is called the image. And the new figure we always mark with the same letters, but also that little mark up on the upper right-hand side where an exponent would go, but this mark is called the prime mark. So in your notes, you have this little section where you have to fill in these blankets. And so the answers that go there are: a translation moves every point of a figure the same length and the same height. A translation can move a figure left or right or up or down. And translations are also thought of as a slide. So here's an image. We have what we call the pre-image. So what we need to do is find the coordinates of the pre-image, and then we're going to slide this unit 5 units to the left and 2 units down. So let's see what that looks like. So here's the original coordinates of the A, B, and C. But if you slide it 5 units to the left and 2 units down, you're basically taking this 2 and going down by 5 units, which puts you at -3. And if you're going 2 units down, then this 4 would drop down to 2. 6, if you move it left 5 places, puts you at 1. And 7, if you drop it by 2, puts you at 5, and so on. So there's the coordinates of your new image, as you can see there. So the image moved left 5 spaces and down 2 spaces. And we can actually show this algebraically with this little formula. For each original x, we just subtract 5 from it to get the new x. And for each original y, we subtract 2 from it to get the new y values. So it's kind of nice how that works out. So let's try another one. Here's the pre-image. In this case, we want to go 5 units right and 3 units up. So that means we're going to add we're going to add 4 units to the 7 and 3 units to the 3. And when we do that, we end up with something like that. So again, just to kind of review with you what we did is we shifted the figure to the right 4 places and then up 3 places. And then we just wrote down the little formula that shows all the x values shifted to the right 4 places, all the y values shifted to up 3 places. And there's our new figure and all of the details. Okay, let's take a look at this and record the coordinates of a pre-image and an image in the table below. So here's the new image, here's the pre-image, and here's the image. So let's take a look at that. So the original coordinates are these: 2, -1, 5, -1, 5, -7, and 2, -7. And then when we shift them, we want to do this particular, we've shifted them over to here, So if you notice, the h value went back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back 7, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. So back 7 and up 4. So if we do that, back 7 and up 4, that's our new coordinates. So we said we moved it to the left 7 places and we moved it up 4 spaces. So algebraically looking, that would look like this. All the x and y values would have, all the x's would have a 7 subtracted from them, and all the y values would have a 4 added to them to get the new y values. So what do we know about this image and the other ones? The two images, well, they're the same length and the same size. Just sliding them around does not change them. Okay, record the coordinates of the pre-image and the image on the table. Okay, so the pre-image, the one right up here, -2 and 2, -2 and 7, -7 and 7, and -7 and 2. So if we take that image and then we look at the new image and record those values, we end up with 7 and -7, 7 and -2, 2 and -2, and 2 and -7. So what's happening? Well, it turns out that if we go from -2 over to 7, that's a shift to the right of 9 places. If we go from +2 down to -7, that's a shift down of 9 places. So describing that, we move to the right 9 places and we move down 9 places. So for each x, y value we have, we add 9 to the x value and subtract 9 to the y values. And again, all the images stay the same. They just slid around. That's kind of a key thing about translations. All right, so here's a couple more to describe these 3 different translations. So just looking at this is the algebraic version of it. So in words, the first one we moved left 13 places. So you went from 12 to -1 in the x direction. That means you went left 13 places. And then in the y direction, you went from 7 up to 14. So that's an increase of 7. All right, so the next translation, we went from -6 to -5. That's just a move to the right of 1. And then we went from -8 to 2 in the y direction. That's an increase of 10. The next one, we went from -3 to -9. So that's a move to the left of 6 places. And then we went from 6 down to -1. That's a move down of 7. Now I said left and negative. I didn't put negative signs on there, but really that's what we're doing. It's moving in a negative direction. Now a translation is a slide where each point moves the same and the final step is congruent to the pre-image. So a couple of last things here. A translation is a vertical and or horizontal slide. Symbolically speaking, x and y translate to so that if the x value goes left or right, you have a positive or negative number there. The y value goes up or down, so you have a positive or negative number depending on what you're doing. And so x represents movement to the left or right, and y represents movement up or down. And in all translations, the result is another congruent shape, so it's the same shape and the same size. So the assignment, transformation worksheet in your packet. Post your answers on Canvas when we're done. So let's get started. Thank you very much.